Dear students, in this video, I'm going to discuss Canto first of the Rape of the Lock. As you know, that Rape of the Lock is an example of mock heroic poem. If you read the text, you'll find out that the subtitle of the poem is written an heroic comical poem. Before watching this video, I suggest you to watch my video, which is specifically meant for the introductory part of the poem. This video you will understand better if you have already watched the first one. Now, this poem, The Rape of the Lock, as I have told you, is an example of mock heroic poem. Its subtitle is also given an heroic comical poem. It's an example of high burlesque. It was first published in 1712 in 2 cantos and 334 lines. And the second edition was brought in 1714 with 5 cantos. Why there are cantos and why did Pope increase the size of the poem, that I have already told you in the first video, that Joseph Edition, you must be familiar with his name, a great 18th century essayist. He thought that the poem was perfect as it was first written and advised Pope against revision. But Pope revised it and he added supernatural machinery and published in 1714. Now, as you know that this poem is an example of a mock epic where the subject is very petty or trivial or low, but the treatment is, that is, style is lofty, grand, sublime, eloquent. That what makes this poem the best example of mock epic. What happens in Canto 1? In Canto 1, it's Canto first, the poet calls upon the muse to help him tell his tale. And this kind of invocation to the muse is an epic device. Invocation is an epic device. And after invocation, the poet describes Belinda as a warrior, arming herself or being armed for battle. Now, this again is an epic device, epic feature. Now, these elements establish the mock epic genre of the poem because, as I have told you, that the subject which is taken is very petty, trivial, and low. but the treatment or the style is lofty, grand, sublime, or eloquent. Before proceeding further, I would like to, introduce you the first few lines from the poem, which are the opening lines. Let us now see how does the poem begin. So, the poem is if you look at the opening part of the poem, you'll find out that how the subject is introduced to us. What dire offense from amorous causes springs. If you have text with you, you please see the first few lines of the text. What dire offense from amorous causes springs. What mighty contests rise from trivial things. I sing this verse to carol. Muse is due. This even Belinda may vouchsafe to view. Slight is the subject, but not so praise. If she inspire and he approve my lays. What dire offense from amorous causes springs? Dire offense and amorous causes. Now, this I think is the subject of the poem which has been introduced in the beginning. What dire offense from amorous causes springs. And this in epic you can call proposition. This is actually the proposition. What is proposition? Introduction of the subject. I told you one other word, invocation, where muse is invoked. You see, what dire offense from amorous causes springs. Dire consequences because of the amorous causes, love causes. And what mighty contests rise from trivial things. Mighty contests from trivial things. Fight because of trivial subject, trivial thing. And you know what trivial thing is. And you know what mighty contest is. Mighty contest means the fight between Fermor family and Peter family. And let us now, if possible, take the picture of the poem, then you'll understand it. So, if that, but this is the copy of what dire offense amorous causes springs. What mighty contests rise from trivial things. I sing this verse to carol, muse is due. This even Belinda may vouchsafe to view. Slight is the subject. Subject is very slight, very petty, but not so the praise. If she inspire, but he approve my lays. Say, what strange motive goddess could compel? The poet asks that what happened actually that a well-bred lord to assault a gentle belly, a beautiful lady of that time. What happened actually that aristocratic lord assaulted a gentle belly? Oh, say what strange cause it unexplored. I am not able to explore what was the reason could make a gentle belly reject a lord. And why did that gentle lady reject the lord? In tasks so bold can little men engage, and in soft bosoms dwell such mighty rays. Look at juxtaposition. In tasks so bold can little men engage. Man was not little, actually he was an aristocratic person, and task was not bold, task was very little. Okay, so what was the task actually? Cutting off the lock of hair. So, and in soft bosoms dwell such mighty rays, and woman can have such kind of mighty rays. Please throw some light on that. Please, tell me what happened. Now, what dire offense from amorous causes springs? You see, the lines, especially the word trivial things, signal that this will be a mock epic, using the heroic form to satirize the important, event. Now, the important event is that, this unimportant event. The lines carry, echoes for the contemporary readers of the amorous and trivial cause of the Trojan War, which is the subject matter of Homer's Iliad. All of you know what was actually the main reason behind the Trojan War. Now, so you'll find out how in the opening part of the poem, we have the mock epic effect, because most of the epical conventions are followed here. As you know that the epic begins with an invocation to the muse to inspire and provide strength to the creative genius. In the Rape of the Lock, Pope does not invoke a goddess or a muse, but instead he invokes his friend, as you know, John Carroll, who requested him to write this work. He was supposed to have first motivated Pope to write about this event of cutting off a lock of hair that turned the members of two families, the Peters and the Fermors, into bitter, enemies. You see, the purpose of Carroll and the purpose of Pope was that the two families, should be reconciliated. They should be reconciled. Second thing which I have just told you when I started my lecture, that I am going to discuss Canto first to you. And there are 5 cantos in the Rape of the Lock. This again is in the pattern of an epic. The length of the traditional epic is such that it required several days to complete it. If you read Dante's Divine Comedy, then find out that it has 34 cantos. And in the Rape of the Lock, there are 5 cantos. Again, we have the parallel of that following of the, epic conventions. Now, the action of the poem begins with the rising sun, awakening the residents of the wealthy household. Though everyone, including the lapdogs, has risen, but Belinda remains asleep. Now, Belinda sees a dream. And in her dream, she dreams of a handsome youth who informs her that she is protected by, then this is a line in the poem, 1,000 bright inhabitants of air. Now, she was told by the handsome youth that she is protected by, looked after by 1,000 bright inhabitants of air. She is looked after, she is protected by some spirits. Those spirits that were once human women, and now they protect virgins. The youth explains that after a woman dies, her spirit returns to elemental form, namely to fire, water, earth, and air. Each element is characterized by different types of women. Now, termagants, for example, termagants are harsh-tempered women. Now, termagants, they become fire spirits. And fire spirits are called salamanders. This is the word which is used. Now, similarly, we have indecisive women. Indecisive women. Who are the indecisive women? And those women who are not able to take the proper decisions, they become water spirits. And then prudes, or women who delight in rejecting men. So prudes or women who delight in rejecting men, they become gnomes, earth spirits. And now comes coquettes, flirtatious woman, a flirtatious woman. Coquettes become sylphs, air spirits. So we have more the role of sylphs in the poem. So the youth explains that after a woman dies, her spirit, returns to elemental form, namely fire, water, earth, and air. And each element is characterized by different types of women. Termagants, for example, become salamanders. Indecisive women become water spirits. Prudes, or women who delight in rejecting men, become gnomes. And coquettes become sylphs, air spirits. Now, this dream is sent to Belinda by Ariel. And Ariel is the line with the phrase which is used in the poem is her guardian sylph. This dream is sent to Belinda by Ariel, and Ariel is her guardian sylph. The sylphs are Belinda's guardians because they understand her vanity and pride, having been coquettes when they were humans. They are devoted to any woman who rejects mankind. And their role is, their responsibility is to guard women, to protect women. Now, at the end of the dream, Ariel warns Belinda of an impending dread event, that something is going to happen. And Ariel urges her to beware of all. This was actually the line which he used, beware of all, but most beware of man. Some dread event is going to happen. So I warn you to beware of man actually. This was the dream. Now after that, Belinda is then awoken. She gets up. She was being awoken by her lapdog. I think you know the name, Shock lapdog. She was awoken by her lapdog Shock. Upon rising, she sees a love letter. A love letter is there. And this love letter is given a word, Bille Du. Bille Du. That a love letter has arrived for her. And when she saw the love letter, she forgets everything related to the dream. Now, there was a dream. In the dream, Ariel warns her against some, dread event. And Ariel warns her that beware of all, but most beware of man. But when she got up, she found a love letter, a billet doux, and she forgets everything what she saw in the dream. Now Belinda is awake. Belinda begins her, elaborate preparation, makeup. Pope endows every object from, combs to, pins to billet doux and Bibles and, each kind of thing which was there in her dressing room. Each silver was in mystic order laid, Pope says. Belinda herself is described as goddess, looking at her heavenly image in the mirror. You'll find out here that when she is getting ready, it seems as if some soldier were getting ready for the battle. The elegant language and the importance of such objects thus elevates the process of dressing to a sacred rite, so that some ritual is going to happen. Now the sylphs assist in Belinda's dressing routine, setting her hair and straightening her gown. The busy sylphs surround their, darling care. And the line in the poem is, in the concluding part of Canto 1, that these set the head and those divide the hair. Some fold the sleeve whilst other plait the gown. So everybody is busy in, making her ready. Now she is ready, fully dressed up, fully arrayed. Belinda emerges from her chamber. This is, the concluding part of Canto first. And you'll find out that after, dressing herself up properly, she looks extremely beautiful, extremely radiant. And now she's ready. She's setting herself off for Hampton Court Palace. traveling by boat on the river Thames, that you will find out in uh, Canto second. So this was all about Canto first, where you'll find out how the theme is introduced, how Belinda is introduced, how sylphs are introduced, what is their role. In Canto 2, Canto 2nd, you'll find out how Belinda sets off for Hampton Court Palace, traveling by boat on the river Thames, and how she attracts everybody by her lovely looks and quick eyes. And I think all of you are familiar with the famous line, Belinda smiled and all the world was gay. So all these points you'll find out in the upcoming cantos. Thank you very much.